Well, that's why you come to the ballpark. You never know what you're going to see. Had it the whole way, right? Wild one. I thought Carson pitched okay, had a very taxing inning that I have learned and seen. When you have those long taxing innings, that's when things can go bad, as far as injuries, confidence. So I wanted to get him out right there. Jack came in, did a great job, pitched it well. They're a really good team. Hats off to UCF. Those guys can play. Anybody that goes into Ole Miss and beats them 2 out of 3. They've had some COVID issues. They've had some injuries, but that's a heck of a club. Questions?
Christine?
Meek, can you explain the ruling on the Nelson play, the bases loaded, infield fly, Romano crossing? Just explain exactly how that transpires.
Yeah, it doesn't. It's not a force out once an infield fly is called, and it was such a bizarre play. You see the guy, he didn't see it, and he starts stumbling. Any other time of day without moisture, we had some rain, so the field's soft. The ball normally hits and bounces somewhere crazy. So we took off. The guy throws a strike, but he didn't tag him, and you've got to tag him on that.
Meek, just talk about the poise your team showed, especially later on in the game.
I told him just now, I said, guys, that's what we needed. You need, I always talk about the more times you're in certain environments and have, those uncomfortable feelings, the better off you're going to be. And, blowing out people's great, but games like that are crucial. And glad we could pull it out.
Aslan? Okay. Any other questions? Go to Brett.
My microphone was plugged in. I apologize. My bad. Coaches, are you yelling at Ryan to run when the ball lands? Like, what was going through your mind when the ball landed on that play?
Yeah, I said stay with it. When I say stay with it, that means doesn't look good as far as him catching the ball. So you start sliding off, and again, once the ball landed, I was yelling go, because again, I'm thinking it's not going to hit and bounce head high. It would. It's rare as heck for it. He, caught it. It's generally got spin on it. It'll hit and go wherever. And then as soon as he, gloves it, I was like, oh my gosh. And then, the catcher, thought it was a force.
Right.
I think UCF starter had a knuckleball. Just to add to the weird night tonight, I guess, when was the last time, can you remember ever facing a knuckleballer recently? And just what sort of challenge does that present for you guys preparing for the game and also in game?
Yeah, the problem was the film that we had on him. You couldn't tell if it was like a split change, a Vulcan, or a knuckleball. And he's smart. It came out in the very first inning. He never showed it, and so then he starts firing that thing. And there was a few of them that were really, really good. So it does put you in kind of a mode of, oh my gosh, how do you work on this? So we told him to slide up in the box. Number one, be ready to hit the fastball, and if you see knuckleball and you got 2 strikes on you, you're going to be up in the box. Do everything you can to hit back at him or opposite field.
Yeah, you used a ton of pitchers on relief tonight. Just talk about the type of performance that you're going to need on Friday against Wake Forest, since you used so many pitchers tonight.
Well, that's why we kept bouncing them in and out, because they'll be fine with a day off. Their bodies are prepared for, that type of situation of the day off and being ready to go. So somebody threw was 26, Davis Hare. And again, that's nothing for these guys. That's the way they're trained. So that's why people probably like, why you take out Anderson? Well, we want him available. We got to understand the conference games and where it's at.
Jim?
Mead, I wanted to ask you about Logan Lacey. What's his situation?
He'll be day to day, Jim. He did tweak it. It's not they grade pulled hamstrings, and it's right there in the middle. It's not something that got really bad, but he felt good today, moved around a little bit, took BP. So that's a good thing. Did get some really bad news today that Doug Kirkland, who's projected to be our closer, is going to have Tommy John.
Aslan?
the way you guys have played against Virginia Tech, Miami, you kind of showed the way you guys are able to play and respond to adversity. I don't know if you had any questions about how the team would handle success coming off all these series wins. Do you think tonight kind of gave you a little indication of that?
It did, and again, it's important to have those type of games. We ran into a really good club. We kept going. We punched them out 18 times. If you'd have told me we were going to strike them out 18 times, not make an error through 9 innings, and score 4 runs, I think we'd say we're going to win. But things didn't work out that way, and they kept going and took some good ABs, took some tough hit by pitches. And when you have great leadership, that's what transpires. Those guys know we got a job to do.
Go to Brett for the last one.
You mentioned Jack. Just how big were those 2 innings from him, and how much progression have you seen from him this year? We struggled a bit in his first couple outings, but he's been lights of late.
It's the usual, Brett. The 3 pitches for strikes. He didn't have that last year. He was starting to get it. I shouldn't say last year, 19, but because we were using good, decent amount last year. But he's a throwback. This is where I want to be. I didn't get a lot of time my first year, but his velo's up, the breaking ball's real, the changeup's a good pitch, and now he can land all 3 of them. He has that calming effect.
Thank you, Coach.
Thanks, everybody.